Hey, I'm Ashley, this is Life Beyond Locks, and today we're going to take a look at a piece from Renau called Haute. And I have to tell you, I wasn't really willing to give this piece a chance. I've had her for a couple weeks and I haven't even tried her on. And I think the reason why is because I got her at the same time as a couple of other pieces, one of them being Kristen. If you saw my review on her, I absolutely love the color of Kristen and it won me over right away. I got Kristen in 8 RH14, so it was a perfect match for my bio hair. And when I looked at the Renau, the first one, Kristen is also Renau, but when I looked at Renau's Haute in the box, I was like, I don't think I like this one as much because the color just wasn't blowing me away. But I have to confess, I did already try her on a couple of minutes ago for a really quick reel for Instagram. So I had her on for probably a minute. And I don't know why I left her in a box for 3 weeks because the density is so good on this piece that it just won me over. So I shouldn't have left her in the box, but I'm glad that I've unboxed her now because I really like this piece and now I want to get this piece in another color because I just love what she offers so much. So she's part of the Smart Lace collection. You can see here Haute in shaded Mocha. She has a bunch of blondes, so a 24, an 18, and then there's also an 8, which is the shaded part. So what that means when you see an S8 for Renau, it means it's shaded with an 8 level. So for me, that's really good because I have dark bio hair, dark eyebrows, and having that shaded root will make it look like I just, you know, have roots because I'm actually a brunette who's dyeing my hair blonde. In terms of the weight, it's 3.8 ounces, so it's not too heavy. And the length of this is a bang of 11.5, so it's quite long in the front here, as you're going to see when I put it on, versus the sides, which are 8 inches. So it kind of has that like lobbish look. And then the nape part right here is 4 inches long. Okay, this thing is getting in my way, so we're just going to cut off the tag because I do intend to keep her. Boom, commitment. Okay, and let's take a look at the inside of the cap. So inside of the cap, we have a left, is this my left? My left monofilament part, and we have lace that extends from ear tab to ear tab. She's supposed to be an average size, but when I put her on, those ear tabs were hitting my ear. Which makes sense because I'm actually a petite to petite average at 21.25 inches circumference. I'm also pretty short, so I generally take a smaller size, so I can make this one work, but it definitely hits me pretty low right here. It's part of the Smart Lace collection. I don't know if I said that already, but Renau lace fronts are so good for synthetic. I realized that when I put on Kristen. She was my first ever Renau piece, and I was like, what? This just melts into my skin. Generally, synthetics don't do that as well for me. Maybe it's my coloring, but with Renau, they really do. I don't know if I told you, but she's also heat friendly, which means you will need to use heat to keep her looking her best over time, but you can curl her or you can straighten her. So fun, love that. And also Renau included a comb with this piece and not Kristen. So I feel like if you get a higher end quote unquote piece from Renau, maybe they throw in the comb. I'm not sure, but I was very pleasantly surprised because you can't have too many of those kicking around, can ya? All right, I'm gonna set the adjustment tabs in just a wee bit because like I said, small head, and let's throw her on. I'm so excited for you to see the density of this piece because as I said, it's really good. Okay, so I am looking into a ring light. I should get a mirror also set up, but that just seems like too much work. So instead, I struggle every time in front of the camera. Okay, so the ear tabs, yeah, the ear tabs are down here and like, that's actually lower than my ear. But you know, it doesn't really bother me that much because I think this piece is so beautiful. Now, had I been prepared for today, I have curly bio hair, but I would have straightened these little pieces because you can see if this was straight, if it was straight, boing, it would look really good blended in here. It would make it look so much more natural on me. It would disguise the fact that I'm wearing a wig. And if I had my flat iron plugged in, I would just do it on camera for you to see, but I don't. So definitely if you have bio hair, and you are able to blend it in, it can make such a big difference for the realism of your wig. But you do have to make sure that the texture similarities are there, because if I pull this out, it's all curly and, you know, the wig is not. So you have to be mindful of that. Okay, so she's on, and you can see that this piece is so sleek. I love that about her. And as I said, I think I would like this piece in other colors, because generally I wouldn't. Okay, so one, the color at first I wasn't wowed by, but that's because I was comparing her to Kristen. But then, as I said, once I put her on and I saw that the rooting was a good match for me, I think I might have changed my mind. So I think I like the shaded Mocha, but I would also like her in other colors, especially moving into fall, having fall colors, because I feel like, even though, because the other thing for me, and I've got to gather my thoughts, I'm supposed to be speaking with clarity and I'm just kind of rolling with punches right now. The other thing for me is that I generally wouldn't go for this kind of a look, you know, the longer bang hanging there. Although when I look in the camera, I think, why wouldn't I go for this? It's actually pretty nice and kind of classic. But I also think that if I were to take a curling iron and curl these pieces a little bit, my gosh, she would be beautiful as well, like that. So and then paired with the low density, I mean, do you see how this is like laying so flat to my head? I know some of you love permatease. I know some of you like volume, but I still am in that phase of, after all these years, feeling that the less volume, the more realistic of a feeling for me, because I, for so many years, had no bio hair. I never had a lot of bio hair, actually. Even when I was a little kid, I mean, I had crazy tight curls, but as soon as those grew out into longer hair, you know, my hair has always been pretty thin, pretty fine, pretty sparse. So to have a lot of hair just doesn't feel natural. This one on my head just feels like believable, because it's just not too much hair in terms of the volume and the permatease. It's sitting so flush to my hair. I don't know if you can see that, but there's literally nothing there. It just hugs so beautifully. So I'm going to give you the full view. Just be mindful. I have a little bit of a bun in the back rather than the braid that I would typically do. So there might be a bulge. That's not the wig. That's my baby bun in the back. So this is my right side. And then this is my left side. And then this is from the back. So I am, as I said, a really big fan. It has the left side part, which means you have to part somewhere in this left side. I can feel it right there. So there's not a ton of flexibility when it comes to how you are going to part this thing, but I don't think it matters for most of us. You know, it comes down to having, I shouldn't have messed with it. I liked it better before. Having a really realistic looking piece, a piece that fits well, that feels good, that looks good. So I'm not bothered by the limited parting options in this one, especially because it's also reflected in the price. This piece comes in at a really good price, and I think you will have a lot of fun with her. I think she's easy to throw on and go, whether it's for dinner, for running errands. She's just not too much, unless you want to be a lot, and then that's cool too. There are so many different options for that. But for me, running around town, just, you know, wanting to feel put together, this is a quick and easy option. I really do like it. If you have any questions about her, please drop them in the comments below. Also check out below for a coupon code to be able to get her at the best possible price. And thank you for being here. I can't wait to see you for the next one.